Yeah, welcome everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll just give it a couple of minutes and then we can get started. So we'll give some more time for everyone to join in and then we can get started. Yeah, I can see more people coming in. Welcome to everyone who just joined. Yeah, it's exactly two. We'll give it maybe another 2 minutes more and then we can get started. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I can see lots more people have joined. Welcome, everyone. We're just going to get started another 1 minute. So, yeah, we'll be able to get started then. And yeah, we'll take you through everything, including how to get the recording and the presentation after the record event. So, yeah, we'll be answering all of that very shortly. Yeah, I think we can get started. Yeah, some really good numbers. So what I'll do is, yeah, we can get started with the presentation. So welcome everyone. It's really good to host all of you. Today's topic will be on expense management. It's a brand new product for us. We're very excited to take you through the capabilities and also talk about how it can impact and change your process from a day-to-day perspective. So yeah, we can get started. So a quick introduction about all the panelists that we have today. My name is Praharsh. I'm from the product marketing team. I look after the expense management and the recruitment management modules in our company. And we're joined by two product managers, Anirudh and Shivapriya, who are both product managers for the expense management module that we have here. They'll also be able to answer any questions that you have on the topic today. So, just some hygiene things before we get started. In case of questions, right? How do you ask questions? There is an option, at the bottom. You can actually navigate that in the bottom part of your screen. Please use the Q&A tab. That is how you'll be able to, ask questions. And whoever is free from our team will be able to answer your questions. So yeah, don't feel shy. You can ask anything related to the product or about Great HR. Yeah, and we'll be able to answer your questions. The next thing is, obviously in the emails we sent out and in the communications, we spoke about how we'll be selecting some lucky attendees to win gift vouchers. there's only two things you have to do to qualify. One is you have to stay until the end. This is already a very power packed, short session, around 45 minutes, around 40 minutes more. So please stay until the end, and you'll automatically qualify. And if you win the prize, we'll be able to message you with all the details. You don't have to do anything else apart from that. That will be sent to you in the next couple of days. And the second thing is, to interact and really get to understand our audience and everyone who's on the call, we are going to be hosting some polls. Again, all you have to do is once the poll comes, please select one of the options so that you can tell us, of all the things that we showed, what really appeals to you, so that we can even tailor our session and the product in the next future. So apart from that, I think there is nothing else. So what I'll do is I'll get started with the presentation. So first up, today's topic, we'll talk about why expense management, managing it manually is really holding you back. So we'll talk about what are the pitfalls of doing so and what are the hidden costs of this process and how it's affecting everyone involved in the process, right from an employee to a manager to the admin and finance teams who are actually reimbursing all these expenses. So to start off with, let's start off with a quick poll just to see how everyone thinks about expense management. I'll launch a quick poll now. It should be up on your screen, and you can see, the first question. How long do you think it takes for you to submit, verify, and process one expense claim manually end to end? Yeah, take your best guess. There are no right or wrong answers at this point because we are still learning about the product. So yeah, just choose one of the options. Yeah, I can see lots of votes coming in. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I'll just leave it up for a little longer. Yeah, before we continue with the poll, I can see in the chat that some of you are saying my voice is echoing. Just to make sure, is it fine now? Maybe one of the panelists can answer.
Yeah, no echo from our end, Prash.
No echo. Okay. Okay, great. So Anirudh, Shivpriya, do you hear any echo from my side while speaking?
No, it is clear.
It is clear. Huh? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, looks like we have lots of votes. So I'll end the poll now. It looks like majority of you have selected 10 minutes. That is the time that you think it takes to process one expense claim from start to end, using all the process inside. The second most popular option seems to be 30 minutes, and then it's a mix of all the other options. Yeah, so I'll just end the poll now and we can get going with the session. So the answer, right, to the thing that we just voted, the answer is actually 20 minutes. You can see the circle in the center. This is the average amount of time it takes when a company is managing their expense process manually. This is everything from the employee filing their expense, submitting it, getting approval, manager sending feedback, and then the HR and admin teams getting involved, all of that included. So you can see, you can probably calculate just how much time it takes for you and for your own organization based on how many expense claims you get every month. And you can also see on the left and right, for an average employee and a typical manager, just how much time is actually spent in terms of filing expenses. So almost over 4 hours for an employee and over 6 hours for a manager. So you can think about the time aspect of it and the opportunity cost of spending so much time in filing expenses manually. So next, before going that, what I'll do is we'll do a quick poll, the second one, but this time it will be a cost aspect of it. So what I'll do is I'll quickly select a poll. It'll be up on your screen now. Let me know what proportion of expense claims do you think are submitted incorrectly in an organization. You can tell from your own organization experience. You can also give your best guess. You can also tell me what your opinion is. So this is the cost aspect of it. I think it will be really good to understand if people overestimate it, underestimate it, or something like that. So let's go through that as well. Yes, very good. Yeah, lots of responses. Yeah. So looks like two options are leading. I'll tell which those two options are very shortly. Yeah, we'll leave it up for a few more seconds and then we can take it from there. Yeah, really good. Yeah, okay. I think we got majority of the responses, so I'll stop here. So yeah, I think most of you have voted as 1 in 5, which is 20%. And the second most popular option is 1 in 10. So where you're saying 10% of all the polls are actually incorrect. So we'll see what the correct answer is. I'll end this poll. Yeah, the answer, those of you who selected 20%, you're actually correct. If you look at the global average of companies of different sizes across different geographies, right? Almost 20% of every expense claim that reaches the desk of a manager or a finance person who's reimbursing the claims will be incorrect. This could be for many reasons, maybe lack of knowledge, maybe someone has joined a company recently, they're not yet aware of the policies of the new company, maybe someone transferred from one office to different office and their designation level changes could be different. So again, you can see if previous slide we learned about how much time it takes per expense claim. Now if you imagine 20% of all that time across the organization is wasted, you can see just how much cost aspect of it is, it's a huge amount. And next, what we'll do is in terms of frustration, you can actually see that when we surveyed employees in organizations, what do you think their least favorite task is, especially salespeople, senior executives, and other people who travel on a day-to-day basis? Almost 60% of them say that filing expense claims is their least favorite task. And you can probably imagine why, because you have to find that expense, a lot of bills will be faded, and it's really hard to keep track. Sometimes you lose that expense entirely and it'll get sent back to you. So you can see how much of a distasteful process it is for everyone involved. So that is why you can see that even though organizations and employees both want to handle expenses quickly and accurately, you'll notice that managing expenses manually is the exact opposite of that, because it doesn't allow you to be quick, nor does it allow you to be accurate. So this is why at greytHR, we have introduced a product called expense management. And really, this is a very, very advanced product that allows you to streamline your entire expense management product, all the way from submissions when the employee is filing it, all the way to approvals from the managers. We've streamlined how easy it is for approving all the expense they get. And finally, in terms of reimbursements also from the finance and admin side. So you'll actually see in the next couple of slides and also the product deep dive that we'll do to see how it streamlines every stage of the process, so that people who are engaged in expense management on a day-to-day process will no longer be able to feel the pain of managing expenses manually. So first up, we'll look at the employee side. You can see what the product does on the submission side. Biggest change we've made in the product is that you no longer have to enter details manually. All you have to do is take your phone, scan the camera, and then you'll be able to auto extract all the details. The app will automatically use artificial intelligence to do that and then input all the details under your name. And because of this, you'll also see that errors will now be very rare, because people earlier, they used to not enter the same amount that was on the bill. So because of that, the product would often get confused with whether the amount is correct or not, and there would be a lot of back and forth emails. So that is also not a problem anymore, because the AI will extract what is in the bill only. And finally, real-time updates. So a lot of the time you might have experienced employees reaching out to HRs and managers, what happened to my bill, where is it, how many more days to get reimbursed, all of that. Because they'll have visibility at every step of the way, they'll no longer be bombarding you with those questions. Next, let's look at the approval side. From the manager side, what are the big advantages is that it is now extremely simple for a manager to approve bills right from their phone. They'll get notification saying that so-and-so employee in your team is requesting this. All they have to do is click it. They can view a highlight of it, and they can either approve, reject, or forward entirely on mobile. Don't have to log into desktop or anything. So they can do it in one click only. And because they'll also get reminders and alerts, they'll get messages like only 4 days to go or 7 days to go before this expense has to be approved. You'll not have to deal with missed expenses and missed deadlines. Third thing is, again, from the customization perspective, we understand that every business is different, every industry is different, and people, when considering a solution like this, will want that level of customization. So because of that, you'll be able to customize it based to your requirements in the company. So whether that is by role, location, designation, or category, no matter how complex your business is, we'll be able to customize it very, very easily. You can see the screen on the right. where you have lots of and or rules that will allow you to customize as much as you need. And also, you can prevent a lot of these overspending cases where employees are not aware how much more money is left before submitting the next expense or initiating a new expense claim. So you can set limits that is very, very upfront, very transparent. So employees will not bombard you again with those questions. And finally, when you think about cases where someone's manager is on leave and their expense bill is not getting approved, you can set conditions for that as well, where if in case person A is on holiday, person B should be able to approve it on their behalf. So that is also very, very easy to set within the product. The fourth thing is again the finance part of it. Again, this is very important because a lot of the times manually dispersing all that reimbursements is a very time consuming process. So that also has been streamlined. All you can do is once all the approvals are done, everyone has reviewed the product, you can mass send out all the approved expenses using batching. This will allow you to pay out multiple expenses in hundreds or thousands across the entire company. You'll not have to worry about missing one or two expenses. As long as they're all clubbed in one category, it's very easy to reimburse them in one go. And again, you'll have the same facilities that employees and managers have in terms of analytics and tracking. You can see how many more bills are pending, and by department level you'll be able to see how many expenses have been used so far by different employers. And the last thing is in terms of analytics. A lot of the time, even though the process itself is streamlined, when one of your superiors or someone asks you, what about this department? How is this department performing in terms of claiming expenses versus someone else? So now it's very, very easy because you'll get a centralized overview of all of these analytics in one page. So you can see department level spending, employee wise spending, and you'll be able to share a report with one click, and you'll be able to customize that report as much as you want. So if it's a very senior stakeholder, you can share a more high level report. And if it's a working stakeholder in your team, you can have a much more detailed report who's much more familiar with the process. So that is also included in the product. So now what I'll do is I'll hand it over to my product managers. They'll give you a very quick high level overview of the product. And the demo is divided into three parts. First, we'll look at the employee's perspective. When the employee opens the app, what do they see? What are the benefits that they get? We'll take a quick break. Then we'll jump into the manager's flow. We'll think about how the approver side has been streamlined and how easy it is for them to approve and stay on top of things. And finally, we'll move to the admin and finance side. And then we can come back to this part of the session. So now what I'll do is I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll hand it over to Anirudh and Shivapriya.
Hello everyone, thanks Prahesh. So I'll take up the demo. First we'll see how an employee can apply for an expense, and then we can proceed with the other flows as well. I'll just present my mobile app. All right. I hope my screen is visible. So I logged in as an employee. Now I'll just click on explore, where I could see the expenses module, clicking on which employee will land on this page. So here at the top, you see an option to add expense. And below that, you can see three tabs: draft, spending, and history. Under draft, whatever the expenses that is not yet submitted will be displayed here. Under pending, all the submitted requests will be displayed here. Under history, all the completed requests. Now let's take a quick example of how an employee can apply for an expense and how long does it take as well. So just click on add expense. So you see two options here. One is take a photo, choose from file manager, and we have other option is proceed without bill as well. So this proceed without bill is basically for the use case if employee takes an auto ride. In that case, there won't be any bill as well. So still without a bill, employee will be able to apply for an expense request. So for now, I'll just go with the option as choose from file manager. I'll just select the food bill with me. So now you can see the bill is uploaded, and automatically below what are the information that needs to be updated, as in bill details, bill number, bill date, bill amount, everything has been updated. So in this case, just take less than a second. Once then bill is uploaded, automatically the OCR is updating the information at the bottom. In addition to this, if employee has any more additional supporting documents, he can still upload it to the expense request by clicking on add more. And If employee wants to change the expense type, they can just click on this expense type and they can see what all the expense type that has been configured to them and what is the expense type, category type, and what is their per day entitlement, per month entitlement, and per year, how much they have consumed so far. And if employee wants to edit the information, still they can go and edit it as well. In addition to that, whatever the restrictions or the configurations that admin has done as per the policy, all those will be validated in this place itself. Let's say I just update the bill amount as 2,600. If I click on proceed, system will automatically validate this information and it will throw an error. And let's say if employees are traveling and if they're collecting a lot of bills and if they don't have time to update it, in that case also, an employee need not to submit a request right away. They can just click on save to draft. Once they click on save to draft, automatically this expense request will be saved under the draft. So once they're back from the trip, they can just add these expenses into one request and they can submit it as well. Now I'll just click on this expense. I'll click on proceed, and it will either I can create a new request or I can add it to the existing draft that I have. For now, I'll just add it to the existing draft. Here you can see in this request there are two expenses, and I have already added one petrol car expense, which is basically a mileage based expense. Let's say employees are traveling within the city and they're claiming my expenses based on my number of kilometers they have traveled. That use case also we have covered here. So all they need to do is enter the distance and the mileage rate will be configured by the admin. Once they enter the distance, automatically the amount will also get updated. And then employee can update any note, anything if required, and they can click on proceed. So here it is mentioned as attachment is mandatory. So all those validations that is configured in the policy will be updated here as well. For now, I'll just click on this one. I'll move to this summary page. So for now, I don't want to go ahead with this petrol car. I just want to apply for this food expense. That is also possible. I can just remove this one. I can just select this food expenses and then I can click on submit. You can see the expense request is submitted. It takes less than 5 seconds for me to add an expense and not more than less than 2 seconds for me to add. Once I upload a bill, automatically OCR takes care of it. And if any error validations happen, system is throwing that, and employee can easily submit the expense request. Even though there are multiple expenses, they can submit it in less than a minute. So what are the expenses that employee has submitted will be displayed under the pending tab. They can go to the expense request ID, what's the total amount submitted on, and what are the food expenses, what are the information they have updated. Here they can preview the bill, whatever they have attached, and give me a second. They can preview the bill and then they can download it if required as well. And if there is any communication that is happening between, if they want to share any information to the reviewer, all they can do is they can click on this view timeline. They can see list of all the who are the reviewers this expense request has to be reviewed from. They can just write a comment, and once a comment is added, the reviewer will be notified of this comment as well. So any kind of communication or clarification that is happening regarding this expense need not to happen offline anymore. It can happen in the timeline itself, and there'll be a track of it. And other reviewers will have a note of this information as well. Now, if I want to withdraw also, I can withdraw this expense request. Now, under history, employee can view all the closed expenses, accepted, rejected, all those expenses as well. Along with that, employee will also can see what are the expense requests that has been paid as well. So you can see this expense request is marked as paid, and clicking on the request details, next to that you can see a payment details tab. Clicking on which employee can view the information as payment method, when the payment was done, and any remarks that has been updated. And also, whenever there is any expense request action has been taken, employee and review will be notified of the same via push as well as via email notifications as well. All right, that's it with the employee flow. Now I'll hand it over to Prahesh.
Yeah, thank you, Shivapriya, for that. So let's take a quick 30-second break. We'll do the manager flow next. And in the meantime, since we just went through the employee flow, I'll put up a quick poll and let me know, out of all the employee features that we have seen, right? which one did you enjoy the most, or which one do you think would be most useful in your case? So I'll just put up the poll. It should be on your screen. Yeah. So these are the broad features that we saw. Just let us know which one do you think are the most helpful for your case. Yeah, very good. Lots of votes coming in. Yeah. Yeah, I think half of you have voted so far. Yeah, let's keep going. Okay, so looks like it's very close between two of the features. I'll tell which that is in some time. Let's give it 5 more seconds. Yeah, thanks everyone. I'll just stop the poll. The biggest one that most people have liked, almost half of you, is the AI receipt capture feature. So again, it's not really a surprise since of all the features that will make the biggest difference in terms of streamlining the experience for everyone. And second is the real-time claim visibility. So yeah, I can understand why that also is important, because then you'll stop getting all those emails about, where is my expense, when will it get approved, all of that, because that is something people can check themselves. Okay, yeah, thanks everyone. So now we'll hand it back to Shivpriya and she'll show us the manager's flow.
Right. So I've logged in as a manager. In the homepage, you can see the review widget. So I can see the number of expense requests that is waiting for this manager's action. So clicking on which, they can see all the list of expenses. On expanding each card, they can see who has applied for an expense and what's the request ID, what are the expense type, what's the total amount, and what are the expenses they have submitted so far. So if there are multiple expenses also, they can see all those expenses in one shot. On expanding, they can see the bill number, bill date, what's a bill amount, and for each expense they can also add a remark if required. In addition to that, manager can also have an override option, which is completely policy driven. They can override the amount and they can add a remark as well. So even when manager is overriding the amount, if it is more than the entitlement that is configured by the admin, it won't allow them to update the amount as well. So these restrictions are also part of this functionality. And they can see expand this, and if any attachments are also attached, they'll be able to view it. Let me open up other expense requests. Yeah, if there are any attachments that is uploaded also, they can just preview it and download it if required, and they can just have a look at all the information. And for manager also, will have this view timeline option where they can do the communication with the employee if any clarification is required. So by default, all the expenses will be accepted. So if I want to reject, I can just add a rejection remarks, or else I can just accept it. I'll forward it to the next level as well. Now, all the expense requests that manager has taken action on will be displayed, will be under the close tab. They can just have a look at it and see the why they have overridden and what's the overridden remarks and what are the comments they have added for this expenses. And also they can also have a look at the timeline as well. That's it with the manager flow, Prahel.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Shivpriya. So now that we saw the manager's flow, just before we move to the final part of the flow, which is admin and finance side, would love to understand, out of all the features we saw in the manager's perspective, right? Which one do you think would be most helpful, or do you find most helpful? So we'll just do a quick poll to understand, which features are most popular with the attendees. So we showed you a bunch of different approver features. We've given the top 4 options. Think about which one would really impact your day-to-day business. Is it one-tap mobile approvals? Is it the notifications? Is it going to be the approval tracking so that you can see at which stage it is? Or, is it the fact that you can only get policy approved claims so you don't have to deal with incorrect claims? So we'll go through that. Yeah, very nice. We got over half of the respondents so far. We'll give it another 10 to 12 seconds. Yeah, I think in this case, it's very obvious. There is one clear winner. Whereas a lot of the previous polls, I noticed people were all picking different ones. But here there is a one clear winner, which I'll share very shortly. Yeah, we'll just give it 5 more seconds. Yeah, okay. I'll end the poll now. Thanks everyone for voting. So the number one out of all, right, over half of you have voted for the one tap mobile approvals, because I think you all recognize the problem of not being able to approve right from your phone, because logging into desktop only to just approve expenses is a very painful process. And after that, you voted for receiving only policy approved claims. This is also a huge time saver, because you know that only the correct claims have reached your desk. You don't have to guess whether an incorrect claim has come or whether it will be sent back or not. So that will also not be a problem. So now we'll again hand it over to Shivpriya for the final time. This time we'll look at the admin flow and the finance flow to see how the product looks from their perspective.
Right. I'll quickly present my screen again.
Just 1 second, Shivpriya.
Yeah.
Just before you continue, I just want to remind all the attendees that any questions that you have, right, please don't put it in the chat tab. Put it in the Q&A tab only, because then it's easier to track what is answered, what is not answered. And in case we miss something, it's very easy for us to find it in the Q&A tab and then message you afterwards, after the event also. So yeah, just wanted to remind that. Yeah, you can continue, Shiv.
All right. So I've logged in as an admin, and clicking on the 9 dots, you can see the expense menu. Clicking on which, you can see the by default admin will land on this workflow page, and you can see under monitor what are the expense requests that is submitted by the employee. The master list of expense requests will be displayed here under pending tab, and they can search the employee records. They can also filter the records, and they can download the report, and they can add additional columns as well. Under review tab, if admin is also one level of reviewer for any expenses, all those records will be displayed here. And we also have an option to multi-select records from the listing page, and they can accept or reject or forward as well. Going to the view details of this expenses. So you can see at the top the summary of the expense request as an employee name, what expense type requested, and all those things. And for each expense, you can see what are the information that employee has updated, and they can see if any attachment is updated will be displayed here. I'll just open up any other expense request. Yeah. So what are the attachments they have uploaded will be displayed here. And under policy, they can see what's the policy that has been configured. And if admin has any doubts while reviewing this expense request, they need not to go to the policy and see what has been configured. They can just click on rules applicable tab, and they can see what are the rules that they have configured for this expense, and then take a call. If the request with any other reviewer as well, still as an admin, they'll be able to take action on this expense request on their behalf as well. So that's it with the workflow. Moving on to the policy. So I've already created a draft policy. So I'll just open that. I'll explain you how we can configure the policies and what are the rules and restrictions that we have. So in the policy, first step is to define the basic details like policy name, policy description, and document everything as such. And once it is done, you can see this configure rules page. This is where we configure all the rules, and we have completely got rid of the traditional way of configuring the policies, and we have come up with a rule engine if and then conditions, which is nothing but admin can define some if statement, as in if the employee belongs to this department, this location, if they are claiming for this type of expense, the below rules will be applicable. For example, here you can see expense category selected as travel Delhi, and expense type is accommodation, and the grade is G1, G2, and the department is sales. Whenever employee is applying for an expense accommodation and they belong to sales department belonging to grade G1 and G2, the below rules will be followed. Here you can automatically approve the expense request based on the above condition. You can set the entitlement for per year, per month, and per day, and you can also define whether they can claim above the end limit or not. You can also define the frequency as well, number of times they can claim, backdated claims, what are the fields that has to be mandatory, and you can also define whether you want to trigger reminders to the reviewers to if there are any pending expenses from the end, and also you can forward it to the next level if there is no response from the review for n number of days. So like similar to this, I have created one rule. In a similar way, if I want to create another set of rules for the different grade with a complete set of different configuration, that is also possible. Here I've just changed the grade G3 and G4. And here you can define the reviewers here. So here I have mentioned as it has to be manually reviewed. So I have given 3 levels of reviewer and what are the actions that they can take, and we don't have any limit to the reviewer as of now. You can add up to n number of reviewers, and you can have the entitlement limits per day, per frequency, backdated claims, and attachment bill number, and all those things. And you can also forward it to the next level, reminders, auto approval. You can set the mileage limits also. If they're claiming for mileage based expenses, you can set what is the minimum and maximum limit as well. In this case, admin can come up with n number of rules with a different set of employees who are belonging to different department, designation, location, and grade, and based on the submitted date and based on the total amount as well. So let's say if employees are you want to define a rule, if employees are climbing below 1,000 rupees, then this request has to be automatically approved. And you can create another rules that says if the total amount is more than 15,000, then the expenses has to go to a different set of reviewers. So those kind of permutations and combinations of rules configuration can be done with this rule engine in our expense module. And once a policy is done, you can either assign it to all the employees or you can assign it to a specific set of employees as well. Okay. That's it with the policy configuration. Now I'll quickly move on to the batch configuration, which is specifically for the finance team. So the finance team, usually companies pay these expenses on a monthly basis or a bi-weekly basis. So the last step is for the finance team to review all the approved expense requests and proceed with the payout process. So in this case, we have come up with this batch configuration concept where finance team can create a batch based on a duration, and what are the approved requests within the duration will go and sit with the batch. For example, we have batches that starts from 21st of November to 30th of November. So there are totally 8 expense requests that has been approved within this duration. So once these batches are created, they can look into those batch and they can see what are the approved expense requests and they can mark it as paid. But this creation of batch every month, admin might miss it, and if the admin misses to create a batch, then a manager won't be able to approve any expenses. So in order to get rid of this, we have come up with the automatic batch scheduler concept, where you can give a batch code, define the period, as in based on number of days the batch has to be created, and what's the start date and when is the end date. Based on this, automatically for every 15 days or every 20 days, automatically a batch scheduler will be on and a batch will be created. Now, moving on to the view details of this expenses. Here you can see what's a batch name, batch period, total requests, what's the status and total amount. And you can see 2 tabs here, what's payment pending and payment completed. So all the approved requests will come and sit in this batch. All finance team can do is just review the expense request, download it as a report as well. And they can just select these records. And we also have a multi-select and they can just click on mark as paid. So here they can select the payment method, when was the payment date, and remarks as well. So whatever information that admin updates in this pop-up, the same information will be visible to the employee in the mobile or in the web version as well. Clicking on confirm, automatically the request will be moved to payment completed. And by mistake, if they have done, we also have an option to revert it back as well. If they have, by mistake, if they have moved the records from the pending to completed as well. And apart from this, we also have a query builder where you can add the fields to generate the report apart from the export options that we have in a specific places. That's it from my end, Prayesh. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Shivapriya. So that brings us to the end of the product demo. So what I'll do now is I'll quickly get a pulse check, since we saw a bunch of features very, at a high level pace. We'll look at all the admin and finance features that we saw so far. Which ones did you think are most helpful in your perspective? Again, you can think about your organization and then connect the feature to what problem it solves. So the options we have, is it the customization of the policies? That is what the most important, or is it option 2, batch processing, where you're able to send out bulk payments at the same time? Is it the employee visibility, so that you can see an employee level breakdown of who is getting claims reimbursed and who is not? And finally, do you instead, prefer the reports and insights? Is that something you would find especially useful? So sometimes it may feel like I find both useful. So please just pick the biggest one, and that will give us enough insights to have a discussion. Yeah, I think this time two options are in the lead. Yeah, the other two options are lagging slightly. I'll just give it another 5 seconds. I think most of you have voted. Yeah, it's still coming in. Okay. Yeah, I'll end the poll now. Looks like it's a tie this time. The customization of the expense policies and the batch processing, both of that have almost like 1% out from each other. So that tells us that you place a lot of value on having that customization, and also the ability to pay out all your expenses in one go, so that you don't have to undertake all the manual labor every time. So now what I'll do is I'll start sharing my screen so we can plan to finish up the session and then move to the Q&A part. We'll just start sharing now. Second. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible. So that was the product demo, and just a quick summary of everything we saw so far. We saw how the expense module can really automate a lot of the manual work that everyone is doing on a day-to-day basis. We can see how we automate a lot of the things, right from submission to the reimbursement stage. And a quick summary, you can see that the AI receipt capture, we don't have any caps on it. It is unlimited. So depending on the employee, no matter how many travel needs they have, or even within the office, their gym, library, L&D, whatever bills they have, there is no limit to that. Can be scanned unlimited number of times per employee. Can easily combine multiple bills into one claim, so you don't have to file additional expenses for the same thing. And all employees will now have visibility, so that they'll not submit a wrong expense bill, whether or not they have awareness from the company. They'll still get a notification saying that this bill is invalid while submitting itself. So you'll not have to deal with all the wrong claims that ran at your desk. For managers, approving is very, very easy. They can literally do it in one click on their phone, whether they are in their office or not. And both employees, managers, everyone will have real-time claim visibility. So you will stop getting all those annoying emails, that what happened to my bill at this time? Why hasn't this been approved even after 7 days? So that you'll stop getting. And we also saw batching. We saw how easy it is to bulk send out all payments in one go, as long as they're all approved. We also saw how easy it is to track status from the finance and admin's perspective, so they can see how many still are left to be pending before the month end. And the last, and honestly one of my favorite part, is this product is entirely built in to work with your HRMS already. Since people on this call are already using our HRMS for core HR, payroll, leave and attendance, you'll not have to go to a different tool to handle your expense management needs. Everything is built in inside only. Very easy to use, very easy to let your staff know about how to use this product, and handle and automate all of your expense management process. So that brings us to the end of the session today. So before we go to the Q&A session, I'd like to understand from all of you, because we've only given you a glimpse of the product. There is so much more it can do. It can be customized to levels that you can't imagine, whether you're a large or small company. If you're from manufacturing, healthcare, or IT, no matter which industry, the product has something very unique from you, unique for you. So what now I'll do is, I'll set up a quick poll. I'd like to understand, since you've already invested time in your busy day to learn about the product, if you would be interested in a personalized demo. What you can do in that demo is watch how the person who conducts your demo customize it to your needs, understand whether the product is really for you, and then take a call on whether it will really add value in your case. So what I'll do is I'll quickly set up a demo now, and then please let us know. Yeah, it should be up on your screen. I'll leave it up on some time. Just as a reminder, you can schedule the poll whenever you want. You can dive as deep as you want, or you can keep it very high level. You can do it one-on-one. You can do it, with your entire team. You can also, schedule it more than once if you want to, share the product with your stakeholders. And you can customize the presentation also. Let's say you only want to focus on the employee flow. That is possible. If you're only interested in diving deep for the admin, finance side, and all of that, that also we can do. So really just to understand how well the product can be tailored to your needs is how this demo can be fixed. And because now this demo session that we already attended, you'll have a basic understanding, but we only saw maybe 20-30% of the product. There is so much more that can be done behind the scenes. You'll also see how artificial intelligence comes into all of this and transform your day-to-day expense management. And most of all, you'll also see how simple it is because it's already embedded into your HRMS. Yeah, I can see lots of you have voted. What I'll do is I'll give it maybe another 10-15 seconds since people are still voting. Yeah, please let us know. Yeah, people are still voting. We'll give it another 5 seconds. Yeah, okay. I think, yeah, most of you have voted. So what I'll do is I'll end the session. Thank you so much to everyone for, those of you who have voted. The next steps are going to be very simple. Someone from our team will be reaching out to you via phone or email. We'll get to understand your requirements, and then we can schedule the next demo as quickly as possible. So now what I'll do is I'll end the demo, and then we can, okay, people are still voting. Okay. In that case, I'll just give it another 10 seconds. I wouldn't want people to miss out on this. Yes, since I think 75-78% of you have voted, since votes are still coming, I'll just give it another 10 seconds. Then we can wrap up and move to the Q&A. So don't worry, to all the questions that have not been answered so far, we'll answer everything. The product managers will be able to help you out. We'll just give it another 10 seconds. Okay. Yeah, I think now I can stop. Yeah. Thank you everyone who voted. So I'm ending the poll. Yeah. Okay. So now what we can do is we can move to the Q&A part of the session. So just give me 1 second. Yeah. So what I'll do is since the product managers have already answered a bunch of questions, I'm going to click what is open first, and then I'll go from there. So Anirudh and Shivpriya, whoever wants to answer, you can answer. What I'll do is I'll take the small ones first. So Dashratha has a question. Can you share this video after the training session? Yes. In case I didn't mention this earlier, we will be sharing the recording presentation deck, but only to those who have attended the session. So as you have attended until the end, we'll be sharing it with you. Yeah, that is possible. Yeah, Kishore also had the same question. So that same answer for that as well. Yeah. So now let's look at some of the questions. Anirudh, the first question is, what about advanced settlements?
I'll take it up the questions, Prash. So
Yeah.
advanced settlement currently it is in the roadmap, but maybe it will be available by end of next quarter. But as of now, we have a workaround as a requester, which we can use it for the advanced workflows as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got it. Thank you. So I'll just mark that. Yeah. Yeah. Next question from Akhil is how to generate PDF report or covering letter for individual employee expense claim.
Okay, hi Akhil. So if you're expecting that you need to export the expense request details as a PDF, so we don't have that option, but we are already in the works of implementing it. Maybe by end of this quarter, it will be available.
Yeah, thank you, Shivpriya. Next one is from Sneha. In our company, we provide advance amount for expenses. So how can the claim amount be deducted from the advance amount?
Yeah. Hello, Sneha. So as I said, we don't have a advanced workflow in our expense model. As I said, it'll be live by end of next quarter. But if you want a workflow for employee to request for advance and managers has to approve, we have a workaround as requester. You can use this, but the reconciliation has to be done manually. Still, we have the advanced workflow in expense line.
Yeah, got it. Just think new questions are coming in. We'll just continue going in the order. 1 second. Yeah, finding one question from Divya is 1 second. Yeah, multi-claim expenses, is it possible?
Multi-claim expense, I assume that you are referring to the same advanced workflow. As I said, it will be available by end of next quarter integrated with expense, and we have a workaround as well for the same.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. From Deepa, one question is in case of food or accommodation bill, there will be a bill and a receipt. Value may differ. Which will be considered?
So for each expense, once you upload a bill, automatically the OCR will update the bill amount from the bill. So in that case, I don't think so this discrepancy will occur.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah. So Aditya has a question. Bill attached from web will not detect the bill details like mobile version.
Hi Aditya. So the OCR as of now is implemented only in mobile. So we already added in a roadmap. Maybe by end of this quarter, we'll have it implemented in the web as well.
Yeah, got it. Okay, one more question. Just going through. Give me a second. I'll just mark the one is done. It's done. Yeah, is manage so Apta has a question. Is manager the default approval or is that customizable to HR or admin?
So the reviewers can be configured as per your company policy. First level can be a manager or admin or a employee as well. So it is completely configurable based on your policy configuration. The policies, expense policies you have.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, so Razia has a question. It's on, I think, integrated to HRMS. Can you please clarify how expense system would integrate with existing use of greytHR? One second. Second part of the question is I would like to understand if there are additional requirements or steps needed since our organization is already using the platform.
See, since our expense model is a part of a greytHR, the integration with the other modules is already there, so not to worry about it. And if you're already using the old expense model, you can still reach out to team to to know the steps of start using the new expense module.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, Mehul has a question. Can it support other currencies as well for foreign employees and foreign travel?
Okay, as of now, we have only base currency where employees can claim, but where employees can claim in different currencies, it's already in the testing phase, and maybe by end of this month, that feature will also be available.
Yeah, got it. Thanks. Continue taking questions. Yeah, Aditya has a question. Can different type of expense category, one second, different type of question seems to have disappeared. Yeah, I think it may have moved to a different tab. What I'll do is I'll take a different question. So Kishore has a question. Advance being paid for every travel and claims to be made for advance taken. Can this be done? I think this we already answered, right? For advances.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can skip this. Yeah, there is one question on APIs from Rajashekar. Using API, can we push the reimbursement details into our ERP?
Currently, no, but it's in the roadmap.
Okay, got it. Akhil has another question. How to generate PDF report or covering? I think this we answered already.
Covered.
Yeah. Let me see what else is left. Prioritize ones that are different. Yeah, Sneha has a question. Will the OCR read the bill in Hindi language?
I guess it will, but still we'll check with the team once we'll revert on the same.
Okay, sure. Yeah, Rishabh has a question. Our expense headers generally follow a tour start date and time and end date and time, and accordingly, all claims inside the claims. How can this be done? We don't want repetition of same dates in another claim by the employee.
Okay, so if you're talking about the form and the placement of fields, currently we don't have any customization as such. We do have the basic fields, and we can currently be working on a feature where you can add the additional fields as well. But the form customization based on your requirement, currently it is not available and peaceful as well.
Yeah. Got it. I think we only have time for one or two more questions. Rest of the questions, don't worry, everyone. We'll definitely get back to you and answer via email. We have your details, and yeah, definitely get that. Yeah, Deepa has a question. Can the OCR detect fraudulent bills or duplicate bills?
Currently, no. We are also working on that feature to, identify the duplicate bills as well.
Yeah, got it. So just checking if you can take something else. Yeah, there was one or two pricing questions. So pricing varies depending on, we have a couple of options, but what I can tell you is we are extremely competitive when it comes to pricing compared to a lot of the competition. So for that, we'll reach out to you separately and you can choose which fits your business best. So that will do. Yeah, one question from Danish. Can we make payments to the vendor directly under this module or is it only for employer reimbursements?
Currently, it is only for employee reimbursements.
Okay, okay. Yeah, okay. I think with that we can pause because we are already 10 minutes over time. So I think people might have other obligations as well. So we have around 10 to 12 unanswered questions, excluding duplicates. So don't worry, everyone. We'll definitely get in touch with you, and we'll answer all your questions via email in the next day or two. And for those of you who have booked a demo, our team will be in touch with you very shortly. We have your email and contact details. They'll be reaching out to understand your requirements, and then you can schedule a demo. You can request any customization to the demo as you want to them directly. In case no one has reached out to you via demo, please reach out to me. Yeah, I'll be happy to help you in case no one has contacted you after 3 or 4 days. And apart from that, thank you so much for attending the session. It's been a real pleasure taking you through our newest module. And I'm going to wrap up the call there. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.